I saw my friend mwenye tungekuwa tunakunywa pombe na yeye. Not really, I was not a very heavy drinker, but tulikuwa tunapenda explore and we will just tukienda home tukifunga closing, tukifanya all this some of these things that young people do. Tulikuwa tukipenda tukienda nyumbani ama tukienda games ama tukienda functions, you know, when you wameenda high schools wanajua funky. We never used to have a drink, and that drink tulikuwa tunashare pamoja. It happened that I went home for school fees and this person had to drink the drink alone and he died. Hey. So hiyo ndio pombe tulikuwa tukunywe pamoja, because eventually ilikuwa na food poisoning, and my good friend alikuwa anaitwa George, he passed away. That thing shook me and it was like, what am I really doing with my life? Watch, subscribe. Ankodaddy is the new thing. Hapo YouTube wanaita Ankodaddyproduction. Is the latest thing, is the new thing. It's impactful, it reaches to young people, and it's important for you just to reach out and subscribe and click that button near notification, so that at least you may get the latest content each and every time.
Hello wonderful people, welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Ankodaddy and of course this is Ankodaddyproduction. Karibu sana ndani ya Ankodaddyproduction tuweze tena kupiga story na one of the amazing leaders in Kenya. Atakuwa anatuambia ni nani na anafanya nini. Karibu sana ndani ya Ankodaddyproduction.
Asante, asante. It's been great. I long to be here. Ankodaddyproduction, and it's wonderful just seeing what the Lord is doing in your life. Yeah.
Maybe utaangalia kamera ujiintroduce, utuambie we ni nani, unafanya nini.
My name is Gibsongome. I'm a pastor by profession, but I also serve in Alpha as the Alpha Youth Lead in Kenya. Alpha is a series of interactive sessions that explore the basics of the Christian faith, and so we equip and serve the church in its mission to help people discover and develop a relationship with Jesus. So ideally, our work day to day is to be in churches, go out there and inspire and encourage young pastors not to stop doing the work that they are doing, but to keep on reaching as many people as possible so that they can have a personal relationship with Christ. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo, maybe Pastor Gibson, before sasa tuendelee na tuzungumze about Alpha, maybe everyone has a story.
Yeah.
Utuambie story yako. Juu au kuamuka tu ukakuwa pastor, ukakuwa penye uko sasa hivi. Right now you are the youth lead Alpha Kenya. Tuambie tu story yako so that we can encourage our youth, our audience. Yeah.
Wow. Personally, I want to say that I'm very passionate even before nipatiane story. I'm very passionate about youth and young people. And each transition period, most of the times napendanga kusema, it's a transitional period, and guys should understand this so that you may know that your story is progressive. You are not supposed to be where you are. There is where God wants you to be. So as you go through whatever you're going through as a young person, it's important for you to understand that you're passing through. For me, nimezaliwa hapa Islando. I was born in Isili. That's when I was there with me and my mom and my dad. Okay. And I look at my story and it's just amazing, because if I was to be in Isili for that period of time that I would have been before ni ende mahali niko, there are some things that zingekuja in my life. Out of nowhere, my dad decided to take us to Kambani na akasema tuende kusomea huko. And then hatukuwa tunaona ina make sense, but now ndo tuliona it was a very good and a very important decision, because you know Eastlands and some of the things that happen in Eastlands. So it was an environment itself was haikuwa very conducive, because I'd already started getting into different companies that were not so good, because after Isili we went to Kariobangi South, and I had this mix. By the time I was in class 6, nilikuanga in different companies that were not so good kwa mienendo na tabia. So, but by class 6, my dad took us to mahali kunaitwa pande za Tala, Ukambani. It didn't make sense. Haikuwa inakaa vizuri, but I went there, finished my school. But when we went to high school, at Form 2, something that brought me to Christ was I saw my friend mwenye tungekuwa tunakunywa pombe na yeye. Not really, I was not a very heavy drinker, but tulikuwa tunapenda explore and we will just tukienda home tukifunga closing, tukifanya all this, some of these things that young people do. Tulikuwa tukipenda tukienda nyumbani ama tukienda games ama tukienda functions, you know, when you wameenda high schools wanajua funky. We never used to have a drink, and that drink tulikuwa tuna share pamoja. It happened that I went home for school fees and this person had to drink the drink alone and he died. Hey. So hiyo ndio pombe tulikuwa tukunywe pamoja, because eventually ilikuwa na food poisoning, and my good friend alikuwa anaitwa George, he passed away. That thing shook me and it was like, what am I really doing with my life? That is the time that I discovered that there is something that I need to do that will bring more impact in my life because one day all of us will go. But I was like, at my youthful stage, if I go right now, what is that one thing that would make people say that I've created an impact in their lives? And the only thing that was close to me at that particular time was to turn my life to Christ. I had a lot of things that I can be close to, but that time was like, all these other things are meaningless, but I really need something that is deeper, and that was God. And I went on my knees. Mimi hakuna mtu aliniita akaniombe wokovu. Just one day I decided to go on my knees in my room after I got those news, because I was at home. After nilipata hizo news, na alikuwa anakuja tu kuziko hapo karibu, haikuwa mbali sana na mahali tulikuwa tumehamia
na home.
Yeah, I got on my knees and I prayed and I asked God, come into my life. I've had people that have received you alone. This is my moment and I need to turn around.
So you made a decision on your own.
A decision on my own. So, and I said, oh Lord, come into my heart, be the Lord and Savior of my life. And yeah, I trust you, Jesus. I want to trust the whole of my life to you. And that has been my conversion. So it has been a process. You know, all this, I sikuwa na ile privilege that I was exposed to a family that knew God as much as my grandma alikuwa anatupeleka mahali tunaomba tukiwa wadogo. But there is this particular time that I came and it became personal. And I said, I was sikuwa nakimbia kukufa, but I was like, what is that one thing that people will say that I've left behind? What is that one impact? We are not rich, sezi ya chamali. We are not famous, sezi ya jina yangu, you know? What is this one thing that it can be really impactful, even more than riches, even more than fame? And I felt touching the lives of people through the gospel will be the most impactful and meaningful thing in people's lives. And that I converted, yeah. Wow. So after Form 4, that's how I came, nika joined church. I started being into skits, youth, and all these other things. I was always up in front. I used to be very curious to know more about the Bible. I met then with my wife. By the way, we were in the same primary school. But my wife, she comes from a pastoral background. So I'm raised akiwa church, and she started preaching, I think class 2 or class 6. I'm not really sure. You mteka to disclaimer. But when we met after Form 4, after all these things have happened to me, and nimekuwa na hii moment, we met in a camp na akaniambia, mbona unakani kama umeokoka? Na mimi nikajiuliza, by the way, nakani kama nimeokoka. And that's how we started preaching every Sunday in different churches. So she formed a group that is called Gracia Foundation. We never knew.
Ukiwa Form 4 bado.
After nimemaliza Form 4, sasa tumetoka nje. We met in the last camp. So yeye already alikuwa shatoka. By then my wife alikuwa mbele yangu na one class. So hao yeye alikuwa already nje, and then I came and met her huku nje, and now they were preaching. But she was forming this group. She was like, we have to be young people, vibrant, and reaching other young people so that they can be touched by the gospel of Christ. So we formed a group that is called Gracia Foundation. Gracia is Latin word for grace. So grace means grace foundation. Grace, of course, the grace of God. And my wife, she's called Grace. So it was an amazing time just going, after memaliza Form 4, tutatafuta tu suti tunaweza pata, tunaenda, we are preaching from every church. Pastors are calling us. God alikuwa amempatia neema sana. So she was called into different churches. We'll go there, do Bible study, and we didn't know that we are building something. We are building something. We are building something.
So it was like a mission after mission.
A mission after mission. Every Sunday we had somewhere to go for like a whole year. Pastors are calling us, come and encourage our young people. And funny enough, when we go to encourage the young people, they give us the first service, the second service, and the third service, which was the youthful service. So that's how we found ourselves into ministry.
Na
And
amuko umeingia maybe college hivi?
no, bado. I stayed like 3 years. That's another story by itself. That's why nimesema, you know, you need to trust God. Because after Form 4, sikuwa na school fees, honestly. So it was, I either get money for me to go to school, unaona, nitafute hiyo pesa niende shule, ama nigoje wazazi ile siku atapata watanipeleka. And in between that period, Sundays will be preaching, but ningekuwa nauza samosa na ice in between the week. So I'll be my wife, the mother, alikuanga na mali, alikuanga anatengeneza ice. So mimi ningeenda nichukue zile ice and I go to Quarez. Nauzia watu wa Quarez kwa sababu ndo wamechoka na wangebai haraka. Sometimes nikiona wanasikia njaa sana na wapelekea samosa. So I did that for almost more than, actually hata nikiingia college the first year, nilikuanga naenda weekends nikirudi, I'll still come back, niweke ice na nipeleke kwa makware watu wakule. Now on Monday, niko college, the first. So I did that, I did, like in that transitional period after Form 4, because of school fees, I didn't go to school for a period of time. So I was doing that. Saturdays and Sundays, we are doing ministry. Monday to Friday, Bible study na kuuza ice na samosa. Bible study kuuza ice na samosa. Adi, you know, my father gave me, nikienda shule actually, then actually my ako amepata pesa. I went, my first college fee, I paid it with money. Nilikuwa nimetoa kwa ice. So
your first college fee?
My first college fee. Nilikuwa nimeuza ice za Kobole. Nilikuwa nimechanga, my friend. Then I kusanya that, I got some money from other. Actually, my dad gave me the second semester's fee. If I'm not wrong, I hope I'm not wrong. But the first, I know I'd kusanyad some money for myself, nikapeleka. And that's how niliingia. Nikaenda nikapata ile room pale Kenya Mass of Communication. I found my own room. Nikapiga magoti nikaambia Mungu asante, because going to school was a problem. And remember, ndo my friend from 4, I think from 2, ndo a pass, and I get this urge just to live for God. Pia mimi nilikuwa nimelose fee, ndo nikaenda nyumbani. Na yake enda function bila mimi, ndo akakunywa pombe. So after class, I think ever since from after class 8, it was a hassle getting school fees to go to school. And that's why even after Form 4, I stayed home for 3 good years. Before, watu wanaitwa college, uko tu hapo unashanga. Watu wanaitwa university, uko nasikia watu wanasema
hii time uko na depression.
No, it was a balance. It was a balance. Funny enough, mimi sijaishi kwa na depression. Okay. I'm resilient. I know how to keep myself busy. And I thank God. Actually, I wouldn't say that it's me, but I thank God mimi najua tu ni neema. But it was so painful. Una friends wako wanakuambia mimi nimeitwa Nairobi University, mimi naenda JKUAT, sijui tuna hang wapi on Friday, sijui tuna, you know, shule kuna you know, someone anaenda shule wanakuja wanatuambia venye Livers Bash ilikuwa sijui aje, sijui Freshers Night ilikuwa tu aje, you know. Either way, even if they are not so good things then, they will come back with stories about university and college. Na wewe hata ujaiona mlango ya university.
Kwanza. Guys, this is so interesting. Pastor Gibsongome, he made a decision on his own. Hakukalishwa chini, hakuambiwa na mtu, hakuvuta mkono. About you now, ni nini ambayo inakuzuia kuto make decision on your own? Kwa sababu ni decision ambayo uli make. That's why you are here today. Exactly. Kama ungekunywa ile pombe maybe na
I would have gone. Sasa tungekuwa na George. Yeah, so that was life changing. That was life changing.
Guys, remember, if you are watching, you need to subscribe. Kama uja subscribe and drop a comment hapo chini, tuambie hii story ni una relate nayo ama ni vipi, ama tuambie hii story yako ni gani, or also you can inbox me for your own story. Kwa hivyo Pastor Gibson, so right now you are in these things called Alpha. Alpha. What is Alpha and what does it entails?
Alpha, I love to summarize it quickly. Alpha is a series of interactive sessions that explore the basics of the Christian faith. So it's a tool that is very effective for evangelism in the modern age. So Alpha is an organization, but the organization runs a course called Alpha Course. So we work with churches. Our main mission is to equip and serve the church. And that is, of course, pastors, youth ministers, leaders, in their mission to help people discover and develop a relationship with Jesus Christ. So ideally what we are doing is just to make sure that the world is evangelized and re-evangelized. You know, that we are not leaving any stone unturned. So we are helping pastors and equipping them with this tool in order for them to reach as many people as possible, even in this present age.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are the team leader Alpha in Kenya.
I'm the Alpha Youth Lead. So anything that runs around the youth, mostly serving youth pastors, youth ministers, and workers. Most of them that comes through my office, so that I can be able to support them effectively. So we are just servants, serving in the kingdom.
Maybe someone is asking, ulijipata aje kwa hiyo position?
So yeah, after when I came to college, I was given an opportunity to be the youth pastor. Not really youth pastor, because anyway it's a college. So wote wenye wako hapo ni youth. So I was the CU chairman / pastor for a period of time. One thing that nilikuanga na shida nayo ni watu walikuwa naokoka, lakini hawakuanga wanakuwa discipled to understand the basics of the Christian faith. So that's how when one of our pastor friends, is called Pastor Halton, came and introduced this thing to me, I was like, this is it. Because it runs for 12 weeks and it creates a space for people to have conversations about life, faith, God, and the meaning. And it's open even for the unchurched. Anybody that comes from outside hata feel condemned or judged. And that is one thing that young people are struggling with. Wanasema tunajajiwa or tumekondemiwa. So they don't want to open up and come to that particular space because of this one thing. So I was like, Alpha, it's a brilliant tool. It helps people not to feel judged and condemned, and it opens an opportunity for them to be in the space where they can experience the basics of the Christian faith. And after they have gone through that course for a period of time, they are like, I can make a concrete decision of becoming a Christian, not based on fear, but are based on facts and knowledge and understanding Christ at a more personal level. So when Halton introduced, I was like, this is a good thing. So I started volunteering. Okay. So I became part of Alpha. I would go do trainings and also run Alpha in my local church and other places that I could get an opportunity. I went back to my school, that is Kenya Institute of Communication. I introduced it there. Many young people were saved. People got impacted by the gospel, and it also opened a space for people from outside to also come to church. And over time, last year, the team, which I honor so much, felt that I can come in and be part of Alpha full-time from April, that is April, yeah. From April, I think 19th. So they welcomed me, and now we are serving, and we are so grateful that God gave us this opportunity. Yeah.
Youth, right now youth, kuna so many youth, some of them wako depressed, some of them hawana job, some of them that like umejua venye umesema, first of all, ulijivolunteer.
Yeah.
Some of them wanajiuliza hata watajivolunteer wapi. Maybe if you can just talk to youth, encourage them and speak word of faith and hope to them. Yeah.
Actually, my main focus and verse in Ekonga for Young is, do not let anyone despise you because of your youth. And actually, Timothy, before then, Paul, when he's writing to Timothy, Apojo anasema, these things I've spoken to you, have I not commanded? And then he said, do not let anyone despise you because of your youth. And then there are very many other things that come there. When you find time, you can go and read 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Okay. So for any young people outside there, despite the condition that you are in, whether you have a job or not, whether you have a wife or not, whether you have money or not, do not let anyone despise you, because there's something that is special in you. You are not late, you are just in a transitional period. And when all these other things come, you'll be the latest. So it's important for you just to understand that you are not poor, you are not single, you know, what you are single. It's only that you are in a transitional period. Everything must have a process, and God wants you to go through that process faithfully in order to bring you to a place that you can blossom. If you don't go through the process, then you'll miss out on the many opportunities that God has outside there for you. Because for us, what we do, we think that we are too late, then we start grasping any opportunity that the enemy brings. And when we do that, the devil will capture us and he will take us out from the primary purpose that God had intentionally set aside for us. There are two things that I love listening to Mr. T, and he usually says there's the derived will and the divine will. The derived will is when you sort your own will. And God will allow you to do it, but you'll miss out on the divine will, the primary purpose that God has intended for you. So take time, relax, enjoy your youth, and God will give you your inheritance very soon. Yeah.
Okay, and kama tutamalizia hapo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pastor, for coming ndani ya Ankodaddy Production.
so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate.
Awesome.
Bado tutakutafuta, kuna story mingi sana ambayo hatujazungumzia.
Very many. But I'm so grateful. Thank you, Ankodaddy. Watch, subscribe. Ankodaddy is the new thing. Hapo YouTube wanaita Ankodaddy Production is the latest thing, is the new thing. It's impactful, it reaches to young people, and it's important for you just to reach out and subscribe and click that button near notification so that at least you may get the latest content each and every time. Ankodaddy, I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
Wacha tumalize. Kwa hivyo guys, of course when you umesikia, make sure umesubscribe na umehit notification bell so that tukiupload new video utaipata instantly. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet next time. Goodbye.
But I was like, what is that one thing that people will say that I've left behind? What is that one impact? We are not rich, says ya chamali. We are not famous, says ya jina yangu, you know. What is this one thing that it can be really impactful, even more than riches, even more than fame? And I felt touching the lives of people through the gospel will be the most impactful and meaningful thing